Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Guided, and this is Magician Lord. This is on the Neo Geo AES, and it's by Alpha, who are a subsidiary of SNK. This is Neo Geo, and this is the SNK logo. Yeah, the only reason I say that is because I think it's the same bloody company. But anyway, Magician Lord is it's the primary reason the Neo Geo registered with me. I walked into an arcade when I was a wee nipper, young spring chicken, not like now, I'm an old grouchy man, and I saw Magician Lord running on a MVS 4-slot cab, and I was like, whoa, what's that? That's like Ghouls and Ghosts, but with like chunkier sprites and stuff. It's got a dude and he looks like a wizard, and oh man, I got to play it. And I played it, I did. And it had a lasting impression on me. I knew that at that point I loved Neo Geo and I would love to have one, but I could never afford one because it had scaling graphics in it. And anything with sprite scaling in it, back in the 80s, I was considered groundbreaking, and it blew our young minds. And Neo Geo could do that, and you could buy one for the home. Oh wow, I can't afford one because they're £9,000. They're not £9,000, they're about 600 quid, and the cartridges were ridiculously priced. So no one I knew ever had one, but because there were 20 arcades within about a 5-mile radius of my house, I never had a problem finding a Neo Geo cab. And Maglord was always on there. And it had kick-ass music, and it had this sort of 3-layer palette scrolling at the beginning, which never rears its head again. But it looks swish. Look at the detail. Oh man, the detail in these graphics. So the game is a platform shooter, and a bit like Ghouls and Ghosts. You can transform into different characters by collecting balls. If you collect big red balls, you get change into a dragon, which isn't that helpful actually, because you can't shoot anything at range. It's got slightly stilted animation. This is a small mega cartridge, I think it's like 46 minutes or something. But yeah, some of the characters are more useful than others. The ninja's good. Couldn't get the word ninja out there. The ninja's good, and the dragon's fine. The magician is actually probably one of the best characters, but I won't say anything about that. The samurai is decent. There's loads of little things you collect, like jewels and treasure, just gives you points. But there's also peas. If you get 2 peas, you can power up the shots. And it's very difficult to hold on to the peas, because as soon as you get bumped, you will lose a power. So you see it says at the bottom there, power 1, 2, and go to 3. And the ninja here gets a stack of 3 laser hula hoops to shoot enemies with, which is well, no more destructive, but slightly more impressive looking. Ninja's everyone's favourite, I think. Here's a guy with a shield. He likes nothing better than to hit you in the face with a sword. He's a bit of a giggling freak, but we dispatched him with intense prejudice. This guy's got a very nice cowlick curl thing going on his forehead, and massive collars. It's very 80s. This background is basically a mashup of about 5 different background elements you can find at different levels, which is either good reuse of graphics or lazy, depending on how you feel about that sort of thing. This thing on the egg here fires scaling fireballs at you, which was also a lovely little graphical flourish that we appreciated back in the day. Meaningless to people now though. And look at that, he zooms out and he dies. Oh, and the book falls on your head. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, this is a fun game. It gets pretty hard after level 4. This music for this stage is kick-ass. Yeah, this did for an early Neo Geo game. This did have a pretty damn nice soundtrack. Yeah, after stage 4, things start getting quite mazy, and you get these like frogs that turn into like frog men, and they're quite hard to get rid of. And then you get to a which is on like a castle background. It uses like a castle tile set, which then reused on the next level. But you have to fight like robot people, and the bosses start degrading in quality. So the first half of the game is lovely looking and sounding. The second half of the game, the graphics take quite a hit. But it is, despite it being super difficult and a bit ugly in places, it is a pretty cool game, and I wouldn't have a Neo Geo without this game. It's one of the well, it's just because of nostalgia value, essentially. It's got like sprite flipping and zooming like that, the way that character came in there. That's a Neo Geo hardware trick. Oh, they used all the tricks in the book. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be without this game. It can look, I suppose it can look a bit rough to young people's eyes. Maybe they don't, they wouldn't look at this and think, oh, this is cool, but yeah, you had to be there, I guess. It's one of those games, you had to be there. Oh, there's a guy low, that's cool, isn't he? He's got a nice cloak. This guy's going to batter me. He's going to, he can jump on my head. Doesn't see what's so funny. The controls are slick. You've got like a mini jump, you tap the jump button. You've got a longer jump if you hold the jump button. That was a bit of a feature of Neo Geo games actually, old dual jump thing. I never really noticed that. This character is awful. His weapons are shite. Like that's the worst weapon in the game. His animation is very stilted, although you can say that about a lot of the animations. Look at his ass go down that ladder. Oh, he's slinky. He's got the nicest ladder animation in the game though. He's like a ladder climbing, he's like a snake. He's a snake-tipped devil, look at him. Look at the wiggle on that. It's got a weird hound. These freaking flying beasties are the most annoying enemies. They don't stay on their plane, they kind of follow you down the screen and up the screen if you try and get out of their way, and they will shoot you in the face. They hate you, and they have no problem showing that hate via violence. I got double balled in the face there. It's not often that would happen. The moon in this background is cool, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's some cool bits in this. Lovely. I don't want to change into that waterman again, so I'll pick up this ball. I think this will change me into the samurai when I pick up the next ball, which will be groovy. Yeah, I got this cartridge brand new, so I've had this from new, and I paid, it must have been £20 English for a European copy. So the Japanese version is a lot more expensive, and you can get the Japanese version in the cardboard box, which makes it even more expensive as being one of the first Neo Geo games. But yeah, you can't get this game for less than, say, 150 these days, and whilst it's not worth that, you can get it on compilations. It's worth a play, even if it does look a bit crusty and sound a bit crusty these days. Just riding the plunger to heaven. It's like, there's that fella again with his bad attitude. Is he gonna kill me again? Don't kill me. No. He succumbed to my superior health bar. Here's Elvis. Elvis is shouting at me again. It's like a cross between Elvis and Jesse Ventura, barking orders at me. This blob thing isn't usually very hard to dispatch, but today it's firing spikes at me at weird angles. Some days the game will hate you, some days it will let you pass. Using the sprite scanning again though, look. That background is also used in one of the other levels. The blue bit in the background. Oh, I didn't make it out with the balls. Hitting the balls by the balls. There's lots of ball-based shenanigans in this game, but it is cool. I do recommend this game as something to play, but to buy it, don't know, it's a bit too expensive on the old AES. Like I said, get it on a compilation instead. Or if you're one of those people with the means and the wherewithal, I suppose you could download a ROM, but I don't condone that. Alright then, well that's Magician Lord, one of my favourite Neo Geo games, and a bit crusty, never mind, it's alright.